Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Mason, and for my lesson plan I had chose the 4th grade, and the topic that I have chose was energy. When I first was looking at the standards and the different topics that I could choose from, I thought I didn't want energy because to me that was not my favorite topic in science whenever I was growing up. And so once I had found the standard, I decided that I would give it a try, and it seemed like we could do a lot of different things with this standard. In this lesson, they are going to be able to discover different objects and the energy that changes as they are sliding on the floor, and whenever the objects come together to the collision point, what happens, and even sometimes some of the objects collide and go different ways. So some of the prior knowledge that the students may have coming into this lesson plan is that they know that if an object has a greater mass or it's bigger, it's going to take longer for it to slide across the floor, but since it has more mass, it will be able to kind of stand its ground and be able to push the other object in a different direction. And so that is some of the background knowledge that some of the students may know, but some of them may not exactly know that. I have specific learning outcomes and expectations for this lesson. The expectations for the students are to contain great composure actually during this, because if each student has a couple of different objects for each one, there's going to be so many different things sliding across the floor, and if they don't contain their composure, then honestly the experiment will not go as well, because most of the time the students will just be playing at that point and not actually seeing patterns and the cause and effect. Some of the science and engineering practices for this lesson are asking questions and defining problems, planning and carrying out investigations, constructing explanations and designing solutions, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. Other disciplinary core ideas are definitions of energy, so we will definitely be going over that, the definition. We will touch on conservation of energy and energy transfer, and then obviously the relationship between energy and forces, as the harder you push, the further it goes and the faster it goes. Some cross-cutting concepts would be energy and matter. Energy can be transferred in various ways and between objects, like stated above. Some standards that can go along with this are English language arts. There are 2 standards, and I will let you guys read that. And if we wanted to, we could honestly include math as well for how long it would take for things to collide. But for the start of the lesson plan in the Engage, I'm going to start off with myself just kind of being goofy but letting the kids see. So I would hold a pillow right here in front of my stomach, and I would purposely run into my couch or something that is bigger than me, but it would take a lot for me to exert energy for it to be able to move or change. So once I have demonstrated that to the students, I'm going to ask questions about what made it happen for me to even be able to move the couch, or if I was able to move it. Next is the explore stage. The students are going to have a box of different materials that they are going to choose what they want to collide with. They can either use different ones from their table partners, but there will be plenty of different objects that they can use to collide. The students are going to be informed of patterns. I'm not going to explain which ones, but the students are going to be aware that there's going to be patterns inside this. And as we're going along, we move to the explain stage. The students are going to explain to other class peers and myself what they have noticed whenever they start colliding 2 different objects with different masses, and even if they go in different directions. And at this time as well, the vocabulary energy and collide will have been used, and if the students still need clarification, I will clarify of what those definitions are compared to what they think they are. Next, as we are moving from the explain stage to the elaborate stage, I'm going to be asking these questions but not every single one. So hopefully if I start off with one question as the students are discussing, they move into these other questions and they are not necessarily asking them, but they are answering them as they go along. And if the students are having a hard time with this, or like if the conversation's dying down, I will ask another question to kind of spark it back up, and the students will be able to just explain. I want to use a formative and summative assessment. Formative would be obviously the class discussion and how the students know what they are talking about and being able to provide examples. And the summative, I want the students to be able to draw on a piece of paper kind of like the steps of what they did, so that way they are able to write it down as well. Thank you guys for watching my video, and I hope you enjoy.